Parrots don't usually need rescuing, but when this one did, the fire department was there to make sure it reached safety. This kitten was alone, dirty, and sick before this man brought it home and adopted it. Just a few months later, it's as happy and healthy as any cat could be. Kittens tend to get lost and separated from their mothers, and this kitten was afraid and lonely. Luckily, they managed to catch her and then give her some food and shelter. This baby seal got a bunch of wires stuck around him, but this guy was right there to help him get it all off.
Baby, hey, okay, you can go.
Not only did this guy save this bird, but he also made a new friend for life. Look, we definitely do not suggest that you do this, as polar bears are very dangerous, but seeing this guy feed this polar bear does warm our hearts a little. The guy in this video thought this washed up seahorse was dead until it moved. He immediately put it back in the water and saved its life.
Oh, I'm so happy to see it's alive.
This tiny pufferfish was washed up on shore because of a strong current, but this kind couple noticed it and put it back in the ocean.
Yeah, he's alive. No.
These bikers stumbled across a baby moose that was extremely thirsty and stopped to give it water and show it some love.
Yeah.
Sloths are surprisingly great swimmers, but this one was too far offshore in a busy boat traffic area. But thankfully for this poor sloth, the boaters realized that this one could use a little help getting somewhere safe, and that's exactly what they did.
Feel like a fish out of water. There you go. Oh no, you need to do your job. There we go. All right. Yay. Is that good enough for you?
This poor little deer not only lost its mom, but it also fell into a creek trying to look for her and could not climb back out on its own. With mom missing, there was no saving him either, until this guy found the baby deer and decided to help him out of the creek and help him find his mom too.
Okay, relax, I'm putting you down soon. Mom's right here. Okay. Relax. It's your mom. Go get your mom. Go ahead.
Giraffes are so majestic and beautiful, but even the biggest and mightiest need help sometimes. And while it may be hard to help an animal like that, good human beings always find a way. That is exactly what happened when this group of people helped this giraffe out of a deep swimming pool where it had gotten stuck. This man was on a walk with his dog when they found a tortoise laying lifeless on the highway. Appearing dehydrated and exhausted, the kind man gave it a nice cold shower and the tortoise couldn't contain its happiness. This hummingbird looked lifeless when the man found it, but then he decided to show us that a little bit of love and care can go such a long way. With his help and care, the hummingbird was back to flapping its wings in no time. This poor duck was found bleeding and scared in an alley all alone. Understandably hesitant in the first few attempts, the duck finally gave in to the wholesome advances of these people who took the duck into their care.
Don't you want it, some water? Yeah. He's thirsty.
These guys found this poor little duck trapped in disgusting water. The unhealthy environment could have consumed the duck if left there for too long, so these men decided to go above and beyond to help the duck get back to safety.
Володя спас утку, достал ее из зарослей, она запуталась в сетке.
This majestic whale shark found itself beached and having a hard time getting back into the water. Slowly suffocating, it was only a matter of time before this beautiful creature would die. But then, these people used a forklift to help the whale shark get back into the water. Seeing this stray cat convulsing and in pain will make even the toughest men cry like babies. But seeing its transformation will make you cry even harder. Just watch what some medicine, food, and a lot of love can do. Now, the cat has been given a well-deserved second chance at life. Pigeons often get themselves into sticky situations and tight spots. This one was found on the inside of a wall. Thankfully, the property's owner didn't care about the wall. They just wanted the pigeon to get its freedom. This adorable little cat's requests were answered by this restaurant owner who decided to give it a little taste of what he was cooking through a window. Snakes are amazing creatures, both on land and in the water. But this poor one got itself stuck in some fishing line. Thankfully, these fishermen came to get a hold of the creeper and cut the fishing line off of him.
Bora peçonhar. Oh! Salvamos a natureza, hein?
This beautiful green bee-eater got mud all over its wings. Unable to fly, the little bird was helpless. Until this fellow found this flightless bird and decided to give it much-needed help. By washing the mud off of its wings, it was only a matter of minutes before the bird was back in the air. All this thirsty little hedgehog needed was a drink of water in his hot and dry surroundings. The poor little thing was in luck as its saviors came along with the hydration it so desperately needed. This martin was too far off in a water body to survive and was destined to drown at any moment. But not on this boater's watch. These people got the martin out of the water and helped it reach the land safely.
Тихо, тихо. Все, поплыла нормально.
Спасибо, таскаешь, нет?
This building was way too high to jump from, even for a cat, so these friendly neighbors decided not to let it take the fall in the first place. The cat was trapped and rescued onto the rooftop of the building, and the cat got to keep all 9 of its lives. This dog clearly wasn't used to freezing cold environments, as it was almost frozen to death in this icy cold pond. If it weren't for the selfless bravery of the man in this video, the dog could have given into the cold. But thankfully, it was pulled out of the pond and survived.
Есть,
A poor little cat was severely outnumbered by a group of stray dogs, ready to tear it apart. It seemed there were no chances of survival, no chances of fighting back, and no chances of evading either. That was until this van driver pulled up and scared the dogs away from the cat. It was that little cat's lucky day for sure. It looked like it was already too late for this little canine, but upon closer inspection, this man found the dog unconscious. Holding on to this dog's little ray of hope, the man took it back home, warmed it up, and used CPR techniques to bring the dog back until it was all better. This deer must have thought that this was the end for him, as the hard snow built up on his face looked impossible to get off. But the deer hadn't run out of luck yet, as it was found by this passerby who helped to get the snow out of the deer's face, mouth, and ears until it was all fit to run back into the wild again. This bear was sniffing around in the wrong places, and the poor thing accidentally got its head stuck in a pot. This incident caused the bear to go into rampage mode, but the people nearby were unwilling to give up on him, so they pulled the pot off the bear's head and let it run free.
Все, Миха. А теперь разбегаемся.
This little squirrel surely developed its fair share of communication skills, as it knew exactly how to ask for water when thirsty. This guy also understood the little rodent's plea and helped it to some water from his own water bottle.
That is cute.
A poor baby echidna was completely exhausted from its attempt to cross the creek and got carried away by the high waters. Moments away from drowning, these people found it struggling to stay afloat with water coming out of its nose. That's when these heroes picked up the echidna and put it in a spot where it could dry off and find some nutrition. Despite being great swimmers, sloths can be a little bit too slow when crossing the road on their own. Therefore, a little help is always appreciated. This sloth found help from these people who picked it up and left it on the other side. The sloth then decided to thank the helpers with a pleasant smile. This Arctic fox must have been starving the way it jumped on to devour the food given to it by a stranger. Lucky for the fox, it's going home with a full stomach today. Raccoons often find their way into garbage cans, but sometimes these dumpsters can be too deep for the little critters to crawl out of. That was exactly the case with these 3 raccoons, until this man found the poor trio struggling and decided to do a good deed for nature.
Okay, you're cool. Hey, you're cool too. Everybody out of the pool. Where's the little one? But he flipped over the board. Come on, you're good. You're good. All right.
This tiny bird got its wings stuck to a piece of tape hanging outside. Luckily, the people inside noticed and ran to its rescue. The poor bird didn't even bite or try to flee, as if it knew it had the help it needed. It got set free, cleaned, and warmed up to be ready to fly back to freedom. Take a look at these tiny little turtles racing towards the water as soon as they're released into the wild. This starling was sure stuck in a tight spot, and even after a number of attempts by these good people, it seemed impossible to get out. But this starling was not getting abandoned today. The saviors did everything in their power to get the little bird out and finally succeeded.
Here you go.
You made it! Are you okay?
This baby seal was found stuck in the bushes far from the water at the beach. Unclear on how the seal even got there, these guys heard its cries for help. As soon as the seal was located, it was picked up and reunited with the water. This little fawn was found stuck down in the sewer. With the risk of scaring the fawn further into the sewers, the helpers had to be extra careful. With enough patience and care, the fawn was successfully retrieved from the sewer and out in the open. The desert habitat can get way too hot for some fauna in the region. This Arabian wolf was in dire need of some water for drinking and cooling down its body. Luckily, it found this man who helped him drink and shower his body with water to help deal with the heat. A deer's cries for help were heard by this couple, who rushed to help it out of the water before it was too late. Then, the deer rushed towards its saviors as soon as it saw help.
Oh my God. I'm gonna cry. Okay.
These donkeys were hungry and freezing out in the cold until these villagers found them and became their helpers. They first helped these poor donkeys with some food, and then they were transported to safety by the help of all these villagers. This dog was moments away from becoming roadkill, but these people found him on the interstate and decided to take him in. Thanks to these people, the little injured puppy was saved and brought into a good home for a good life. This little puppy was lucky to have his cries heard by this group of comrades. Fallen to the bottom of this deep and narrow well, this puppy had no other way out. But these good men took every measure to bring this puppy back to safety. Foxes may be known to be cunning predators, but this poor one had no way out of this canal that it got stuck inside of. Before any more trouble arrived, these guys succeeded in pulling it out. The fox showed a willingness to get help too, as it held really tight to the rope thrown to it.
يلا روح روح هلا يلا روح.
This baby cow was unable to move and was surrounded by water as it got itself stuck upside down in a narrow well. You could see the distress the cow was in by the way it attempted to run off after being pulled out and saved by these good Samaritans. This poor little skunk had a jar stuck to its head. Thankfully, it got noticed from afar, and the skunk had the help it needed in no time. However, this skunk had a different way of showing gratitude as it started chasing its savior.
Okay, he's chasing me. Who gets chased by a skunk?
Which of these heartwarming rescues made you tear up the most? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to drop a like and subscribe with notifications turned on, because you definitely don't want to miss part 2. See you then!